Hello. I hope everyone is well. So if you've clicked this video, you're probably a student of some sort. If you're not, I don't know why you've clicked on this video. But yeah, I'm sure by now you've all heard of the phrase academic weapon. Today we're going to talk a bit about how you can become one of those. You know, that A-star student, getting good grades, all of that. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So the first step in becoming that academic weapon is getting a good night's sleep consistently. And I know this is going to trigger a lot of people because, let's be honest, all our sleeping routines are messed up. Like, I don't want to get too scientifical. Is that a word? If it wasn't a word, it's a word now. Yeah, I don't want to get too scientifical, but I watched a podcast, The Diary of a CEO. You might have heard of him on YouTube. I love watching his podcast. Really smart guy. He did this podcast with a scientist called Matthew Walker, and it was all about why sleep is so important, the health benefits, what happens if you're not sleeping enough, and also how well you sleep. Sleeping for 8 hours doesn't necessarily mean you had a good night's sleep, because was you in a period of deep sleep, all of that kind of stuff. And it's really important if you're a student, because sleep is where the brain takes all the memories, like in your short term, and places it into your long term memory. I don't know all the scientific phrases, so yeah, don't quote me. But so all of the revision and studying that you've been taking in, consuming, it's when you're asleep that information gets processed in your brain and allows you to remember it for whenever you want to take a test or an exam or anything like that. So if you're only sleeping for 4-5 hours every night, it's actually taking a toll on your memory retention, which is obviously going to have an impact on your grades. So getting a good night's sleep is really important. Really want to get your sleep in check, so I would suggest you try and get like a regular pattern of 7 to 9 hours worth of sleep every night, and try going to bed at the same time every night and waking up at the same time every morning, even on the weekends. Our bodies really love patterns, if that makes sense. And eventually, if you maintain that pattern, you'll be able to sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time every single day, even without an alarm. It's something to do with the circadian rhythm. I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to get too much into that. So if you want to, you can do some more research on that. But yeah, step number 1, consistently get a good night's sleep. Step number 2, and that is exercise. Now this is really important because it's something that really gets neglected during exam periods and stuff like that. But doing less exercise during periods of intensive revision is actually counterproductive. And this is because regular exercise improves your brain function. So all of the revision that you've been doing, again, same as sleep, it will help you process it better, it will stick in your brain, and this is going to help you do better in your exams. And doing exercise regularly also is just going to naturally increase your energy levels. So when you're sitting down at a desk for hours on end, you're not going to feel so lethargic and everything. You'll actually have the energy to concentrate and do the work. It doesn't even have to be like going to the gym every single day. It can just be going for a walk or going for a jog or continue a sport that you was already doing. So if you want to be an academic weapon, you really want to make sure you're getting a good amount of exercise for you. Don't neglect it. Step number 3, and that is try and eat some more healthy foods. And I'm not going to list out a bunch of healthy foods. You already know, like something popped into your mind when I said healthy foods. Those type of foods, you should be eating those. And just think about, like, it makes sense, doesn't it? Like, if you're eating a bunch of sugary stuff, a lot of junk food, you know that it's not gonna help your brain function properly. Like, we've been told this since we were little kids: eat your veggies, eat your greens, all of that stuff. And it's actually, believe it or not, more important than you think. Again, this is all to do with your brain. Like, eating those healthier foods are going to enable your brain to function properly. It's going to give you the ability to take in more information and also store that information in your brain, retain it, and then you'll be able to apply it to your exams, therefore giving you the grades that you've been dying for, those A stars and A's. So yeah, I think by now you've seen like a recurring pattern. All of these tips that I'm giving you, sleep, exercise, diet, they're all in relation to like improving your brain function, your cognitive function, and then enabling your brain to process the information that you've been learning and that you've been studying for so long, and retaining that into your long-term memory. So being an academic weapon is not just about studying for 12 hours a day, day in, day out. No, it's also about external variables that contribute to you being able to study and get those good grades. With that being said, this really does go without saying, if you want to be an academic weapon, you've got to put in the hours, you've got to study. You're not going to be able to pass. I mean, I don't know, some of you are like naturally intelligent or whatever. When you reach university, you're not going to be able to pass your exams without having done some revision. I know you can get away with it at GCSE a tiny bit. Even A-levels, you're not going to be able to get away with not putting in the hours of studying. This is for the UK people watching. If you're not a person in the UK, those are the exams that we do. 16 is GCSEs, 18 is A-levels, but yeah. The point still stands. You've got to put in the hours of revision. Like, I know exam seasons are coming up for most of you, whether you're taking your GCSEs, your A-levels, all of that stuff, your SATs, if you're in America. And you really want to remember that the really intense periods of revision that you are going to put in for your exams, they're only temporary. So just put in the work now and you'll reap the rewards of getting the good grades that you've really wanted, getting into that good university if you want to go to university. And so think about it like this. Right now you're in your present self, right? You're present, you're you in the present, and you want your future self to look back on your past self and be proud that you put in all of those hours of revision. Just think about results day. You're opening up the letter or the envelope and you see the A star, A star, A star. You're gonna look back and be so proud of yourself, and you just feel so fulfilled and satisfied inside that you did do, I don't know, however many hours of revision a day. You sacrificed, I don't know, playing video games all day, scrolling on social media all day, and you put in all of those hours into actually being productive and studying. The worst thing is you've finished your exams and you get the grades back, and just seeing that they're not up to your standard. You know you could have done better because you decided to procrastinate your revision, or I don't know, you just thought, oh, I'll do it later. Oh, the test's not even going to be that difficult. You don't want to be in those situations where you're disappointed at your past self. So if you put in the work now, trust me, it'll be worth it. I forgot what step we're on. Yeah, I don't know. But the next step is one that you may not have heard of before. Like, maybe no one's ever told you about this, or you've just not. Yeah, so the next step is you should try drinking some herbal tea, like incorporating that into your daily habits. And let me explain. So the benefits of drinking herbal tea are absolutely unmatched. I first didn't even know about it like a year ago, and then my sister started drinking herbal tea and she got me hooked into it. And trust me, it's actually really beneficial. So for example, green tea is a type of herbal tea and it's got caffeine in it. So instead of drinking coffee, I drink green tea whenever I'm feeling really tired or sluggish or whatever. And so it gives me that energy boost, but it also provides me with a whole load of other benefits So it improves your digestive system. It's got like so many antioxidants and like stuff like that that are really good for your body. Again, I don't want to get too, what was the word I used before? Scientifical. Yeah, I don't want to get too scientifical. So yeah, if you want me to make a more in-depth video on that, let me know, like the benefits of all the different herbal teas, because it's not just green tea. There's chamomile tea, there's peppermint tea, and they've all got their different benefits to them. So yeah, I'd really recommend you drink herbal tea. It's one that you might not have heard of before, so if you want to do some research into it, yeah, go for it. So the next step I have for you is spending time in nature. I made a video on this a couple videos back about why it's really good to spend some time in nature, and it's, in short, it's because when you're studying for hours on end every day, cooped up inside the room or the library or on the desk for so many hours, it's mentally draining. Going out in nature, whether you're going for a walk in a local park, taking a stroll on the beach, walking your dog, walking your cat. Anyways, you know what I mean. It's really nice to just get a break from that mental pressure that you've been placing on yourself. It's going to enable you to continue going. Like, it can help prevent you from burning out, like taking regular breaks in nature, and it's going to help you like calm down, wind down from all the stress that you've been placing on yourself to get these good grades, and like kind of as a refresher, if that makes sense. So you'll be able to do more revision for longer periods of time without burning out, if that makes sense. And yeah, spending time in nature is underrated. I know most of you, like you right there, think to yourself, when was the last time you just took a walk just to catch some fresh air, get some fresh air? You probably can't remember the last time you did that, can you? So yeah, trust me, go for regular walks, or I don't know, even just climb a tree, I don't know. Yeah, it's really going to do some wonders for your mental health, and that's going to enable you to become that academic weapon. Okay, so the last tip that I have for you to become an academic weapon is to try and reduce your social media consumption. And this is one that is very important for so many reasons. For starters, it's just very time consuming. Scrolling mindlessly on Instagram and TikTok, trust me, it's a really addictive, like, and it's so easy, like you don't even have to think about it, and 6 hours would have gone past that you could have spent on your revision, really and truly. So I'm not saying you should completely stop it, because maybe you want to relax, or maybe you need it because I don't know, Snapchat to message your friends or whatever. I'm not saying you have to delete it, but just try and maybe set limits on your phone as to how long you can spend on each app. That's what I've done, and that may help you prioritize your revision when you need to, and not like overspend time on these social media apps. And if you are consuming on social media, you really want to be careful of what you're consuming, because if you're taking in, I don't know, for example, negative content daily, that's going to mess with your brain, and you'll be thinking about it when you're studying, and it's just going to take away from your concentration. So either you delete all your social media apps, or you really make sure you've got positive stuff coming up on your feed or information that's actually relevant to you and helpful, not just some useless entertainment content, if that makes sense. But if you are in like exam period, like GCSEs or A-level exams, what I did and I would recommend is you do try and delete all of your social media apps if you can. It doesn't have to be for like 2 months. I'm saying like 2 to 3 weeks before your exams start, I would recommend you delete all of your social media apps. And this is really all down to focus. You're not going on Instagram, you're not going on TikTok. You'll know what you need to get done, and you will get it done because there's nothing else to do. So it will enable you to focus on your revision, concentrate, and become that academic weapon ace your exams, get your good grades, get into university, and it's that simple, really. It's really that simple. Like, and the final tip I have for you is try and surround yourself with like-minded, ambitious individuals as yourself, who have similar goals to you academically. This is because when you're surrounded by a group of friends who don't care about their education, always getting bad grades, and they just laugh it off, saying, oh, I haven't studied, I don't even care, laughing when they get their E's and D's and F's, it's naturally going to have an impact on you, because you may have heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend your most time with. So if you've got some school friends who are always dismissing exams and you genuinely care about your exams, you may want to reconsider how much time you spend with them. You should try and find a group of friends, or one friend, some friends, who share the same ambitions as you in your studies, who want to get those good grades, because if you end up in that circle, you don't want to be the one who's not getting the good grades. So it naturally motivates you to study harder and just work more in general. In relation to this, a really good app that I would recommend you download is called Flora. No, this is not sponsored. I'm not at that level yet, but soon. But there's this app called Flora. It's like a study productivity app, and you can add all your friends on it. It's not a social media app. You add all your friends, and it helps you study more productively. I'll give you like the whole rundown of it. You can place a timer on it, and say for 1 hour you want to study. You press start, and it kind of prevents you from going on your phone whilst that period is still going on, that 1 hour. So you can do study sessions with your friends. You don't have to be in the same place. They'll just join your room of that 1 hour, and you can see how many hours of revision your friends have been doing in that week. It refreshes every week, and it's kind of like competitive, but it's good, because if you see that, oh, your friend's done 10 hours this week and you've only done 5, it's like, damn it, I want to catch up to them. So you end up doing more hours of revision just to catch up to them. But it's just it's a fun way to make studying more manageable, enjoyable. And also you can put like money into it. So when you complete a session, it can actually contribute towards planting trees. So there's that aspect of it, but it's free and you don't have to do that if you don't want to. So I'd recommend you really download that, because that helped me so much when I did my A-levels. So that sums up this video. I hope you took anything useful away from this. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.